So, how did I build my clarity? Right? How? We're going to be talking about that today. Yes, we are. So get on here before we go any further. For those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Queen A. I am the one and only clarity coach. Okay, I hope that you are enjoying your day. I'm right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. If you're watching, let us know where you're watching from in the chat. I don't care if you're watching now or if you're watching on the replay. Okay. All right. So we don't care. All right. So let's get into it. So basically, I want to just talk to y'all today about how I continue to build my clarity, right? Without feeling frustrated and aggravated all the time and defeated. Defeat is something that tends to hinder us now and what later on and furthermore. The reason why it tends to hinder us is because we don't understand how to even do the first thing, which is to make a choice. Now, we have to understand to make the conscious choice to even make the decision to want to have clarity. Because a lot of people don't, some people is okay with where they're at. And until you become uncomfortable, meaning that you like, okay, I'm choosing because I noticed and I realized that something has to change. This relationship is not working for me no more. This job is not working for me no more. The way I do things is not working for me. These goals is not working for me no more. Well, if it's not working for you and you're getting frustrated, you're getting aggravated because you can't, clarity and frustration can't coexist. It just can't. It can't. There's no way around it. If you're frustrated, you're feeling aggravated, and you're feeling depressed, that's because there's no clarity somewhere there along the lines. And you have to figure out where it's lacking at. Are we clear on that? I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Because most people don't understand that clarity comes with the first thing is a choice. And in order to make a choice, you have to what? Practice silence. Give yourself silence. So the way I did that is, I tell you, if you don't know, I had a gun put to my head 4 different times in my life. 4 different times by 4 different people. And 2 of them that I thought loved me dearly. And when you have a gun put to your head by somebody that says they love you, I could tell you now that it will cause you to be so confused. It will cause you to lack self-confidence. It will cause you to lack nourishment. It will cause you to lack even, the simple nutrients. The way how I learned how to build and understand how to get clarity without being frustrated and without all the fluff that comes along with that is by silencing my mind. Silencing my mind. Changing I understood, okay, I have to change my health. I had to silence my mind. Like, why am I catching myself in these different situations all the time? What is the common denominator that I'm finding here? Because I've had a gun put to my head on 4 different occasions. A lot of times we don't want to take responsibility for anything. I want to say this. We don't take responsibility for everything. So a lot of times we got to, in order to get clarity, you have to learn how to take responsibility as well. Yes, I had a gun put to my head on 4 different occasions. Also, what I can also say is there were signs where I could have walked away before it even got to that point. Had I gave myself clarity. So had I had the clarity needed, what do you think would have happened? I would have walked away long before. We see, a lot of times we have so much noise going on in our head. Especially for me, when I was going through these situations, when like I said, I had a gun put to my head on 4 different times. Not to mention that I got pregnant with my first son when I was 14, had him when I was 15. He passed away the day before my Earth Day, December the 20th. My son passed away. My Earth Day is December the 21st. That's what a lot of people don't know. So for years, until this year right here, until 2025, for the years after my son passed away, I had no clarity. I was confused. I was frustrated, aggravated. Every time my birthday came around, I never allowed myself even to have clarity for my own birthday and even have silence for myself. So with that, I want to say we have to take responsibility. See, I learned how to do these things once I got silent. I learned how to do these things once I also understood, okay, well, I have to learn how to change my environment. See, a lot of times our health stems from our environment, right? A lot of times our health is not aligned, which is why we don't have no clarity. And it all stems a lot of times from our environment. Just think about it. If you grew up in an environment where, for holidays, they eating fried turkeys all the time and, macaroni pound with salted greens or whatever it is. And they got a pound of salt or a pound of slap your mama or a pound of whatever it is. That's not lining up with your body in the inside. That's not healthy. So once you have that imbalance, then guess what happens? Anything that's imbalanced on the inside will start showing up on the outside, whether it shows up with depression, whether it shows up with skin care, like where you're getting rashes, whether it shows up when you're aggravated, whether it shows up in fear, whether it shows up in anger. But not having clarity stems from these things. So I learned how to keep building up my clarity without all the fluff because I had to first make the choice to be silent. I had to learn how to silence my mindset, tune into my thoughts, not lean away from them. A lot of times we don't tune into our thoughts. We lean away from them and wonder why we have 1 million of them. Because guess what? You had 100,000 before. So let's start off like this. First, you had 100 thoughts. You let them float around. You didn't do nothing about that. You didn't write them out. You didn't even acknowledge them. Now, them 100 thoughts, now you got 100 other thoughts that piled on because guess what? You're aging with you every day. Something new comes up. Something happens. So it sends other thoughts to your head. Maybe somebody passed away. Maybe somebody made you mad. Maybe somebody owe you money. Maybe your bills ain't paid. Maybe you're struggling. I don't know what the case may be. But what I can tell you is it comes from a lack of not tuning in to yourself and giving yourself the choice to be silent. Give yourself permission to make that choice. Do you need permission? If you need permission, Queen A is giving you the permission right now to be silent. My apologies. And to tune into your thoughts. And once I learned that the inside matches the outside, meaning that if you're unbalanced on the outside, I can promise you that you're unbalanced on the inside somewhere. There's no way around it. Mental health and physical health go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other and think you are healthy or think you have clarity. It goes hand in hand. So this is how I learned how to do this. After having a gun put to my head on 4 separate occasions, after doubting myself over and over again, after thinking that I'm not enough, after finding myself in the same position over and over again, constantly doubting myself. I had to make the conscious choice to say, you know what? It's okay to be silent and acknowledge my thoughts. The only way you can gain clarity in your life, I don't care what you're doing, whether it's in a relationship, it could be in a business, it could be with your youth, it could be in your, I don't care. in your environment, mom, father, sister, brother, pick one. The only way for you to have clarity, genuine clarity, is to give yourself the decision to hush and be quiet and silent. If you can't give yourself permission to do that, I don't know what to tell you. You can't have no clarity. Can you imagine having a job, right? Let's say this, you apply for a job and, they didn't even tell you what to do. They just say, hey, go use that machine right there. And that's where you're going to be at for the next 6 months. Now, you just started the job and they pointed to a machine and they tell you to go over there. They didn't tell you how the machine run. They didn't give you a manual for the machine. They didn't even tell you nothing about the machine, what materials to use, what materials do you need, proper PPE equipment, right? Protective equipment. What do you do for this machine? You have no clue. Is this machine dangerous? Does it hold items that you should be cautious of? Hazardous items? Them are all things that you need to understand in order to have clarity on how to use that machine. And it's the same way with life. If somebody just said, you know what? I like him over there. I'm going to go over there and snatch him up and we're going to be happily ever after. And y'all never had a conversation with each other on principles, values, what makes you tick, what don't. If you don't learn how to have these conversations, you're not going to find clarity. That's how I learned how to find clarity after having a gun put to my head on 4 different occasions. 4. Twice by people that said they love me. After keep doubting myself over and over again of, am I worthy of love? Why is everybody doing this to me? Why? I had to allow myself to make the choice to be silent so I could take a moment and really think and process everything that was going on. Okay, well, Queen A, maybe you need to change your environment that you're, finding these people in. Not even finding, because you shouldn't even be looking. Maybe you need to just change your environment so you can be amongst a different, variety of people. Maybe you need to have different goals. Maybe you need to hold on to different principles. Maybe you need to ask yourself, what are your goals? What are your principles? What will you accept? What don't you accept? What do you consider respect? What do you consider disrespect? But them are things that I could not have known had I not gave myself the option to be quiet and made that choice. That's why I always say, and I want people to understand, with clarity comes silence, it comes choices. You have to change your environment. It's a whole lot that comes with this. This is how I built this up. But the main way I want to tell y'all, the main thing I did first was I gave myself the choice. I gave myself permission. Let myself know it was okay to be silent. So I ask you, do you feel like it's okay for you to be silent? Is it okay for you to acknowledge your thoughts? Are you ready for that clarity? Are you ready for true clarity? True clarity. We're not talking about the clarity from the world. We're not talking about clarity from TikTok. We're not talking about clarity from YouTube. We're not talking about no true clarity from yourself. Are you truly ready? Because if you're truly ready from clarity, that comes from yourself. If you're truly ready, then guess what? I have a free webinar that I do monthly. And my next one coming up is on 15th. So that is next Thursday. Next Thursday from 7 to 8:30, an hour and a half. If you truly ready, and I mean truly ready, I'll make sure that I put the link. Matter of fact, I'll go see if I can do this now. I don't know if it's let's see if it's going to do it. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So let's do this. And I am going to put the link in the chat. So I am going to put this link in the chat right here. Let's paste this link if it lets me. Okay. All right. So let me do it. All right. So I have pasted a link in the chat. I'll see if I can pin it. All right. So I'm going to pin that. Okay. So I have pinned a link in the chat. If you are truly serious and you are truly ready and you truly want to know what it takes to build confidence with clarity. Yeah, we have everybody out here telling you how to do this and how to do that. But where's the clarity? We ain't talking about clarity with it because they're giving you tips. I see a lot of, gurus out here giving you tips on clarity with everybody else. But what about the clarity that you have with yourself? Not about the clarity you have with your business. Not about the clarity that you have, with everybody else. What is the clarity that you are allowing yourself to have for you? All right. So that's all I got. If y'all loved it, make sure that y'all, before y'all jump off, make sure that y'all like this video. Share this video with somebody that may need to build their clarity. They may need the seed planted, and you can plant the seed in them by sharing this video, which will allow their mental to grow. And that's what we're about right here. So share this video, like this video, make sure that you are subscribed if you are not subscribed, and stay tuned for more clarity. And if nobody else loves you, you already know Queen A does. I'm out later. Mwah.